Good evening, my darlings. It has been a long time since I've talked to most of you like this. Been a while since I've done a solar report. Uh, on Facebook, I've been keeping everyone updated on social media, and I decided it was better to do a video like this than trying to type this all out. It's just, I don't know, way too much going on. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm going to say that maybe the sun has something to do with it. Okay, so if you haven't been following along with my reports on Facebook, major solar activity at the moment. I'm going to say some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen in 15 years of looking and discussing solar physics, okay? We have one active sunspot, which is currently rotating into Earth view. Will be directly Earth facing in the next 36 to 48 hours. And it's having a party. Yeah, it's having a party. We have had an unbelievable amount of solar flares in the last 48 hours. Call it about 54 hours. In the last 54 hours, probably more solar flares than I've ever seen, especially out of one spot, all at once. We have had 5 X-class solar flares. We've had so many M-class solar flares that SolarHam on the flare list is just dropping all the low-level M-class flares off the list. I think the last time I actually stopped and counted them up earlier this morning, it was like 23 M-class solar flares in amongst the 5 X-class solar flares. Okay, it's active. Here's the thing. We've been very lucky. We had one faint, there was an X8.1, which is a very large X-class solar flare. Luckily, not directly Earth-facing, and the CME that it did eject is kind of weak. Partial halo. We will maybe on tomorrow, Thursday, get a glancing blow from it. It's very slow moving, unlike the CME that hit us with the massive geomagnetic storms last month. This one is very slow moving, and I don't expect that it's really going to do much for the geomagnetics. Of all these flares, we've had very few coronal mass ejections, which is a good thing. And on the plus side, we do not have any coronal holes currently facing us, so any CMEs are not getting pushed along by the solar wind stream, which is good for us. So if the geomagnetics are stable, we have had no radiation storms. Things are pretty good. But as I always talk about, what we see on the graphs is only part of the problem. Let's talk biology, and that's why I'm doing this video. I am getting reports from all over the world, from clients all over the world, from friends, viewers, etc. With the sudden uptick, very sudden uptick in all the solar activity, there has been a plethora of physical and mental anomalous activity, shall we say, that is all of a sudden coming up. So one of the number one on the physical, headaches. Headaches, really bad. Surprisingly, very few migraines triggered, which is a good thing. More on the line of just very bad, almost like a cluster headaches, where they just come and they pound and you're just like, oh, wow, not enjoying this at all. Exhaustion. Not tiredness, though. It was funny, I had this conversation with Nick last night. It's not exhaustion like, I'm so tired, I just want to go to bed. It's exhaustion as in physically incapable of even wanting to move. Mentally incapable of trying to think. Like, it's like your brain is slugging through molasses. It's so hard to pull the energy together to do anything that's tiddly that you've got to like really put concentration on. So that is some of our primary. The exhaustion, but not sleeping. This is one of the things that we're hearing from a lot of people. Not really able to sleep, tossing and turning all night. Body pain, again, body pain is a big one. If you have any, let's say, tendency towards inflammation, bad back, shoulders, knees, hips, they're all flaring up at the moment. The big one I want to talk about, though, is the emotional. This is an overwhelming report that I've been getting in from everywhere, that anxiety is off the charts. And I've had multiple conversations with my own kids who are feeling it, but with quite a few friends and a couple of clients. When I've questioned them, the anxiety has no reason. There's nothing personal in their life that is causing them the anxiety. It is literally an external thing where they can't help themselves. They're feeling very anxious, depressed, but very, very tense and anxious. And now, if you followed along with a lot of my work, you know I talk about this all the time. The mental impact from solar activity, and I don't mean geomagnetic storms, but the actual solar activity of what's going on has a very physical and psychological impact. And we have a butt ton of studies talking about exactly this. But a lot of times people get convinced, okay, if there's no CME, if there's no coronal mass ejection, if there's no geomagnetic storm, it should be fine. Yeah, not so much. So I want people to be aware. Keep an eye on it. Anxiety, depression, tension, a little bit snippy, snappy. Like you might want to rip somebody's head off if they so much as give you a hard time on things. No, that's not me. I'm not talking about myself. Not at all. Anyway, we all know when I talk about solar stuff, especially when it comes to the headaches, obviously there's not a hell of a lot we can do other than painkillers if it gets that bad. And you know, I'm not a huge supporter of using painkillers, but I'm going to say it again. Hydration, my friends, hydration. Drinking lots of water, good quality water. And remember that you can't just guzzle water if you're not taking in salt. If you're not taking in enough salt, your water just going right out the other end of you. So up your salt intake, up your water intake. Herbal teas are always a good idea. Things that are like chamomile, peppermint, ginger, all of those will help with headaches, with tension overall, body tension. And they're calming. Like they're very, very calming. I will keep everyone abreast of any new developments because, like I said, this sunspot 4366 is just rotating into Earth view. And it's not slowing down. It's not slowing down. So I will keep everyone updated as to what's going on. In the meantime, take it easy. Don't overdo it. If you're feeling mentally sluggish, shall we say, maybe don't go out driving. Maybe stay off the roads. Maybe not decide to do your taxes right now. Not necessarily the best time. Okay, so I will look in on you guys in a little while. If I have anything to update, I will record another message.